think the thing that sets The Old Guard apart from other stories of its kind, and we've talked about this in the sense that, stories about people who cannot die are not new. They're ancient. We have vampire myths and other stories beyond that. But I think one of the things that The Old Guard does is really interrogate uh, with emotional honesty what it would be like. And I don't think necessarily that's the first time that's been done either, but I do think it is the first time, to my knowledge, that the question has been asked as pointedly as it's asked in The Old Guard, and allows for a diversity of answers. That every character in the story has a different take on it. It was an extraordinary journey, just the whole process of adaptation, because it really started with Skydance and with the folks at Skydance who had fallen in love with The Old Guard, and then were very active in guiding me through the screenplay process. And then when Gina came aboard, immediately her passion for the project um, just drove me and was energizing and exciting, and absolutely made the script better and better. I'm never quite sure how to answer it, because I don't have a whole lot to compare it to. All I know is that I will be incredibly fortunate if uh, on the next movie I get to write, I have an experience remotely like this one. Well, they don't know. And that's kind of the point, in the same way that we don't know. We live our lives and we provide a direction to our lives. And one of the things that provides that direction is knowing that our lives have an end. And one of the things that knowing our lives have ends drives us towards is wanting to leave something for ourselves and for others, for the people we care about, to make what we leave behind better, so that on some level, as we try to get through our days, we also are trying to make the days to come easier, if not just for ourselves, for the people we care about. So in that, they can't articulate to you a mission. Nikki would say, the purpose is to help. We're here, we want to help people. And nobody on the team would disagree with that. They might argue about the relative merits of the kind of help they are able to offer. Uh, but, viewing it in terms of a lot of what this movie is about is, in many ways, defining and refining a purpose. And that is absolutely relevant to this moment. I mean, that's relevant to where we are living now. That is relevant to a world that is combating um, a new pandemic, and certainly in much of the world combating an ancient pandemic now. That we are talking about racism and systemic social issues in a way that I think we genuinely haven't engaged before, and with an impatience that I think is frankly inspiring. Uh, there are a lot of people who are going, why are we still having to fight these fights? These battles should have been done and dusted a long time ago. And now imagine that you're 1,000 years old. You're going to be agreeing with that. You're going to be like, yeah, I thought we were through this one already. So, I think it's very relevant for where we are today. First and foremost, I want the audience, whoever comes to this movie, I want them to enjoy it. I want them to leave it going, well, that was 2 hours I am glad I spent. And on that level alone, I hope that they have been entertained, and I hope that they have been moved, and I hope that they have been able to laugh as well as potentially cry at this story, which I think, one of the things that is so beautifully executed by Gina's direction, by Charlize, and her performance, and Kiki is that in particular these it is a emotional roller coaster, and I think it is emotionally honest. But I also think that there is a real question about on a deeper level. You can walk away from this movie really interrogating what it is and what power we have as individuals day to day in our lives to make life better for others in ways we cannot even imagine. We do not know the effects of our actions. And, that may sound a little Pollyanna, but we all tend to be a little myopic day to day. And it is good to be reminded that the choices you make have impacts that you cannot conceive of, not, down the street or tomorrow, but in 50 years and around the world. And everybody has that ability and should be granting it to everybody else.